Dreams. The importance of dreams is very relevant to spiritual awakening, and it is not something to be overlooked. The importance of it is an awakening in itself. And actually, to clear that up, it is awakening itself. No matter how you are trying to awake, if you are trying to awake before your time, and I want to put this out there that I don't think you should. There's in Amos, there's a really severe warning about that. In the New Testament, you are told you're considered to be, or they who are considered to be thieves and robbers who go in a different door or try to access the door through a different way. They're thieves and robbers. You have a time and it'll happen for you. And all of us who have awakened, we are no different than you. We are the same. If we have maybe come to this 10 or 15 years before you, make no mistake about it, you too will get to this place because it is set in stone. It is set in your heart, in your mind. You have placed it there for yourself. And you have also left a breadcrumb trail for yourself, walking in the world, experiencing the world that will lead you to that point of awakening. But I would very much suggest that you wait. It'll happen for you and you'll know it. It's an innate knowing. It is hardwired in you. It is who and what you truly are, and it will happen for you. But if you are going down another road, say ayahuasca or any other drug-induced retreat to reach that place of heaven, to experience the kingdom of heaven, no matter what road you travel down, dreams are always going to be vital and important to your awakening. They will unfold in a way that is indescribable. I've tried my very best here to leave examples of myself, the experiences that I was having as I was waking up for the second and final time. Again, which no one could have prepared me for. After my first awakening, union with God, and all the spiritual glimpses and all of the spiritual insight and some of the creative power that I mishandled and didn't use properly, didn't understand because there wasn't a teacher for me. I have tried my very best to leave these examples and the importance of dreams when it comes to the spirit awakening. Do not overlook dreams and do not listen to people who tell you, because my life had been full of people who told me, oh, it's just a dream. What's the matter with you? It's just a dream. Or they have some logical reasoning explanation or psychological dream book interpretation to what is happening to you. It's nice to know, beforehand, say if you have a dream, that you can interpret it properly and know the meaning of it. However, dreams are so symbolic and filled of everything from your conscious waking life to the unconscious elements of what you truly are that come to the forefront. And these two clash. And in the nights, sometimes this clashing can overlap and get misconstrued and mixed up, and you can't really understand what the dream is to interpret it. And you can take 1,000 books and read them, but you're just, again, giving your power over away to a book. Because if you feel that, you had a dream about a butterfly or something like that, and you look up the dream meaning in the dream dictionary about a butterfly, and for some strange reason, you poured your faith and belief in the interpretation of your dream through a book, and something happened that it manifested, you will forever start thinking that dream dictionaries and dream books are the answers to everything. And you will get lost and you will get confused because your dreams go beyond any kind of interpretation. There is no way that you can interpret properly what is happening to you. But you can leave it alone and let it unfold and be aware. This is very much kind of like manifestation. You have to put it out there and drop it and forget about it. Same thing with your dreams. Had a dream? Drop it, forget about it. But be aware also that when it manifests, when it presents itself with the correct interpretation, you are aware and you see it and you understand what is happening. Now, I'm not telling you to drop your dream dictionaries. Personally, I don't go down that road. I have tried to go down that road, and I found that my dreams don't line up with the world's interpretation of dreams, whether it's psychology or whether it's just someone who has experienced a gazillion dreams, and so I don't go down that road. Having chased it before, I know that spiritual awakening cannot be found in a book, cannot be found anywhere, cannot be interpreted by any professional psychologist or professional dream lab somewhere. It doesn't work that way, because it is your spirit awakening, and it is revealing things to you that you have forgotten. It is memory returning, and some of these things are hundreds of thousands of years old. You are ancient. You are the Ancient of Days. You are the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last. You are everything, and you carry that DNA sequence in your body. And I know I'm referring to it in a scientific way, but make no mistake about it. It's the language that is available to us to make it understandable in a way. But your spirit is older than time, and you have memory coming back to you of certain events, certain situations. I've left plenty of experiences here where I found myself in biblical times, and I was playing out the role of that era, and I was the first person experience in my dreams of Jesus Christ, of John the Baptist, of Paul, of Peter, of Andrew, of Philip, of Isaiah, of Ezekiel, of Jonah, of Amos, of it just all unfolded in me. And I found myself in that era, in that time. And then other times, it was that era in symbolism, but it was modern. It was the 21st century. I was in the 21st century, housing structures, environment, nature, city life, lights, and all of that stuff, exactly how we live today in the 21st century. Exactly what's available to us in our small towns and in our large, big cities. All of that environment, all of that nature. However, the dream would be of some sort of biblical reference taking place, but it's not taking place back in biblical times. It's taking place in the modern era, in the modern day. You have this, your spirit, when it awakens, shows you what you truly are. And you will become very comfortable with dreams. And I think, I wish that you don't become as comfortable as I did with them, because I feel that at times they were an addiction. And I looked forward to having them. And when I wasn't having them, I was upset. I was miserable. It was almost like I needed that fix. And more than anything, what's happening there, if you do experience something like what I did, what's happening there is you feel the restraints, or you feel the constriction and the suffocating of this world. And in those dreams, your spirit is showing you freedom. It's showing you immortality. It is showing you a divinity. It is showing you as being great and wonderful. And you don't want to return to this world. You don't want to wake up. And when you do wake up, you feel so strapped into your body, so confined, so unable to move around or do anything, that you just look forward to that period of time, that the evening, to lay your head down on your pillow and go to sleep and dream, or not dream, and wake up and feel the suffocation of this body. It's the only way, I know it's very dramatic, but it's the only way I could really describe it. And you will go through that stage. And that stage will help you also wean off the addiction of the dreams, so that then they can return to you and you can have them naturally, and they can be more balanced in your life. I notice now that if I don't have a dream, I don't get upset like I used to before. But when I do have a dream, and sometimes when the dreams come on, they'll come on for a period of time. They'll come on for 4 or 5 days, and then maybe they'll stop. Again, that strength and comfort that you get from having these dreams is welcomed, and it is not feared as though you might lose it. You can never lose what you have. However, just keep in mind, don't turn a good thing into an addiction. When it becomes an addiction, it becomes uncomfortable, unbearable, and you're constantly chasing it. And you have to do what you do with your body and your senses and your urges. You can't ever eliminate them, but you can control them. You can master over them. And that's what spirituality really teaches you, to be a master of your identity, of what you truly are, and to ignore the impulses and the urges and the nonsense. You can never ever get rid of them, as I said. However, you can become the master of them and entertain them when you will, and know that when you're not entertaining them, it's not a big deal. And then you'll find by doing this, a lot of your urges and a lot of the impulses, they start fading away. They start disappearing. A lot of that eagerness and anxiousness starts eliminating from you. A lot of the things that you felt were controlling you, now you have control over. And you can entertain them when you want to, and when you don't want to, you feel just as glorious and wonderful as though you never had this, because you don't really have them. A lot of these things are taught to us in the world. How to be angry, how to conduct ourselves, what is required of ourselves on a sexual level, and how we are to perform, whether it be husband-wife duties, relationship, courting, and whatnot. Certain impulses and urges we are taught that are normal and everything like that. And then you come to a point where you realize that maybe some of these impulses and urges are actually taking over you, are controlling you. I know I went down this road with sex. I had a porn addiction. I was constantly visiting strip joints. I was thinking that that's the way I had to live. I had to date like a different woman every other day. You know what I mean? Because that's the norm. That's how men grow up. They grow up with this sex and lust and thing about them, and they indulge in pornography, and they date strippers and hookers and whatnot. Those are foolish things that the world teaches you to a level or to a degree are acceptable. And what you do with them afterwards become an addiction and can ruin your life. So the world teaches you that it's good, but it's bad. It's good, but it's bad. Spirituality teaches you to become a master of these urges and these impulses and certain things in your life that may turn into addictions and whatnot. And allows you to, because you will never ever eliminate it, because you are an animal species. These urges are something that also are part of you. You know, in the world, they are a belief system, and they are to be applied and followed according to the way of the world, in order to live according to the structure and infrastructure of the world, right? But make no mistake about it, they are urges that are in you. You are a part of the animal kingdom. You are a species that walks and talks and speaks and thinks, and that's the only thing that separates us from all the other animals. But at the same time, we still have these feelings. The thing is to not let these feelings run amok, as I did when I was younger, and as so many young men and young women do nowadays. Don't let them run amok, because they could, in the long run, hurt you. But spiritual awakening teaches you how to handle these urges, how to control them, how to become the master of these urges, and know when and how to use them. And also know that when you're not using them, it's not a big deal. No one cares. Who cares? And if you maybe want to eliminate them down the road, you're free to eliminate them also. If you have that mentality where it's not hurting you, if you don't feel a certain feeling, act a certain way, conduct yourself in a manner that you think, or the world has taught you to think, is appropriate. You can just eliminate them and just get rid of them. And all of this stuff ties into dreams, because dreams can very much turn into this. As I said, for me, it became like that because I was having for years and years and years dream after dream after dream, explosion, revelation, visions, everything happening to me. And then around 2024, last year, they stopped. And I couldn't, for the life of me, why am I not having that? This is part of who I am. This is my spiritual nature. My spiritual nature is to have them. Why am I not having them? And I would wake up and I would feel miserable, horrible, like I needed that fix. And then I'd go back to sleep and no dream. I'd go back the next night, no dream. And I would be frustrated, mad, angry, disappointed. You can literally turn the simplest thing, the very simplest thing that people tell you is nonsense, and knock it off and it means nothing. You can literally turn that into an addiction to the point where you need it. And I'll tell you why spiritually you do need it, because spiritually you are there. You are always there. You are the kingdom of heaven. So you haven't left heaven. You haven't left the kingdom of heaven. You are there. But your senses in the world don't allow you to see that until you have a spiritual awakening. They don't allow you to see that because you're indulging on everything that the world has taught us, the belief system, the programming and the conditioning, the parental upbringing, how they see the world, and they influence it on you. Your scholastic upbringing, what the world has available to you, and you are taught how to handle it and deal with it. Your employment experience, how to save money, what kind of job is right for you. Are you qualified or are you not qualified for what you want to do and earn a living? However, in the background, you are there. You're not here. Once again, like I said in the last video, the observer effect. Only, in the world, you don't see it. But there comes a time where you do see it, where you see the body going about doing its business and everything, and you're observing. You're the observer. And at the same time, in the body, you're aware of the observer. Now, again, like I said, with dreams and with urges and impulses and all that, even this observer effect can become an addiction. And you'll chase it, and you'll want to do that. You got to remember that don't turn any of this stuff into an addiction, because then it becomes a worldly belief system. Then it becomes something that is miserable to you when you can't achieve it, or when you can't reach it, or when you can't have it, or when you can't dream of it. Don't turn any of this stuff into an addiction. You're there already, as I was saying, in heaven, but the world doesn't allow you to see it. And so in your dreams, you actually are spirit. You're spiritual. And especially going through a spiritual awakening, you will recognize this clearer than day. And you are there. But when you come back, wake up in the morning, you are confined into a jail cell. And you are surrounded by influences and experiences that take away that sense of freedom you had in your dreams, that take away that sense of purpose that you had in your dreams, that take away that sense of growth. And if you have, like myself, you go through years and years and years of dreams, and then all of a sudden they stop, you will feel the pressure of a jail cell. You will feel the pressure of isolation. You will feel the pressure of loneliness, even though you may be surrounded by a million people all around you, friends, family, employers, etc. You may be surrounded, but you going through this spiritual awakening and the dreams that come with it, when they start to dissipate and slowly and gradually become less and less and less, you will feel the pressure of isolation, and you will feel that pressure of something suffocating you. And it's only because you realized that you are truly free, and you will always be free, and you are immortal and eternal. However, in this world here, it is a straitjacket. It is suffocation. It is a jail cell. It is isolation. No matter how many friends you have, it is isolation. Dreams are very important. In Numbers, it says, if there's a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known to him in visions and in dreams. In Job, it says, in the night, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't remember it. In the night, he speaks to you in the ear and seals his instructions through dreams, right? And there's probably in the book of Job, there's probably about 4 or 5 dream passages. That's a reference to the importance of dreams and spiritual awakening. In Joel and in the book of Acts, it says, and in those days I shall pour out my spirit upon the earth, and your young men shall dream dreams, and your old men and your daughters and your wives, they will have visions. And these are important to spiritual awakening. This is your connection to God. This is recognizing God and having union with God. It happens through dreams. But as I said in the beginning, if you're chasing it through some other avenue, if someone's telling you, I know how to make your third eye open, you know what I mean? Or someone's telling you, let's do an ayahuasca retreat, and let's do some of this stuff here, and we'll see God, and we'll be able to talk to God. I can tell you, in the beginning, the early stages of my first spiritual awakening, I was smoking pot all the time. I was addicted to it. Now, some people out here will say, oh, you can't become addicted to pot. Nonsense, because I've talked to a lot of people who have said this to me, and I said, okay, if you can't become addicted to pot, quit. And they refuse to quit. And they've given me 1,000,001 excuses why they can't quit, but yet they'll be the first ones to tell me that you cannot become addicted to pot. I know for a fact marijuana is a highly addictive substance. It is terrible and it is horrible. And in my first spiritual awakening, probably the first year and a half of my first spiritual awakening, I was a pothead. Now, I smoked pot on a regular basis. I got high all the time. I could not read the Bible unless I was high. I started reading the Bible, and I had to roll up a joint, smoke that whole friggin' joint, and make sure that I was good and high for a couple hours while I read the Bible. Did I have any dreams of the Bible? No. The times when I wasn't smoking pot, I had visions. I had union with the Ancient of Days, and it was love and comfort and that freedom that I am telling you about. I didn't release myself from my habits. I still went to strip joints. I still chased pornography. I still smoked pot like it was going out of style. And I dressed in a heavy metal attire because playing guitar and whatnot, and heavy metal was my thing. I wanted to look the part and look cool. All the while, I'm going through a spiritual awakening. And yes, you can be this person and have a spiritual awakening, because it's not about the appearance. It's about the heart. It's what's in you. And what's in you is an appointed time to have this awakening, to have union with God. It is set by God in stone for you to have that spiritual awakening. And like I said, the first spiritual awakening is a sign. I didn't realize that, but I couldn't quit some of these habits. And so I figured my access to God from now on is going to be rolling up a joint, reading the Bible, and either having some sort of pareidolia dream, vision manifest itself before me, the cracks on the floor forming images and faces, or the cracks on the ceiling, or the stucco on the ceiling forming faces and whatnot, that I would have access to God. And then I would have dreams, and none of that really happened. I may have had maybe one experience through the year and a half of my first spiritual awakening that I was smoking pot. And then something happened. I just said, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want this in my life. I mean, I thought this was an entrance to heaven, but I was a thief and a robber. I was looking for a different door to enter through and say, aha, I'm here. Kind of like Satan in the book of Job. And God says, friend, where did you come from? Paraphrasing again, but you know what I'm saying. I quit. I just completely quit. It hurt. For about a year after that, it hurt. Because no matter what anyone tells you that it's not an addiction, if you quit it, it will feel very much like an addiction. you will go through all the fidgeting and all of the uncomfortable feelings and all of the anxiousness and anxiety and thinking, okay, maybe I'll just do it one more time and then that's it. I'll quit. I just need one hit. I just need a hit and that's it. You will feel all of that pressure of releasing yourself from the addiction. And it's just pot. And people will say, pot is not an addiction. Pot, you cannot become addicted to it. All I have to say is quit then. Like I said, I've talked to 1 million people and told who are regular pot enthusiasts, and I said to them, you're addicted. And they're like, no. And I said, okay, quit. No, we weren't 1,000,001 excuses why not to quit. And at the same time, giving me 1,000,001 reasons why it's not an addiction. You write your own narrative, right? And when you're writing your own narrative, it's foolish and it's nonsense. You have to let the greater you that is in you take over and release you from your addictions and urges and all that, and teach you that if you want to hold on to these addictions and urges, that you have to learn how to tame them. You have to be able to tame them. You have to train them no different than you would a pet in your home, and you have to tame them. And you'll find through taming them, they'll wean off a lot easier and will disappear, And again, that is totally up to you. But the greatest thing of all of that is to learn to control yourself and control these feelings and urges and impulses and emotions and things that you create in your life that become addictions. Everywhere throughout the Bible, dreams are important. They are important in realizing your true spiritual value and your true spiritual worth and what you really are. Freedom, liberated already. You just don't see it. And you have a spiritual awakening. And in your spiritual awakening, you will have dreams. Many, many, many dreams. And again, you will feel what I am talking about, that when the visions or the dreams start subsiding, that you will feel the contraction and the suffocation and the isolation that this body truly is. Whereas before you didn't see it and you thought you were just normal, acting the way you act, doing the things you do. That was all part of the experience of the world and the worldly belief system set up, which one applies to you and which organization in the world you belong to. You will find that these dreams will release you and show you this freedom and this immortality and this eternity. And I can only tell you that the importance of this in your spiritual awakening is great. It is valuable, and it is only something that can be seen by you, experienced by you. You can never ever prove this stuff, and you can only ever experience it on a level through faith in understanding that you are greater than the you that you are in the world, and that you are already free, and that you are already liberated. This is just an experience you are having. You are already in heaven. So don't turn your dreams into addictions, and understand that spiritual awakening, a real spiritual awakening, involves dreams, involves synchronicities, involves visions, revelations, pareidolias. And you have to, through the guidance of certain people and who understand this and teachers and whatnot, you too yourself will become the instructor and the teacher. You have to. That's what spiritual awakening is all about. You have to become God. God has already started a good work in you, and he is now breaking you down and creating you in his spiritual image. Beloved, it does not yet appear what we shall be, but we do know when he appears, we shall be just like him. And that is the restructuring and reforming of your true self, of your true worth. And dreams play a huge, important role in that. They reveal everything about you that you didn't know, that you truly are, and forever and ever will be. Don't go looking for, you can if you want to. I don't want to sound like someone here who is telling you what to do, but If you think that an ayahuasca trip is what you need to visit heaven, you're wrong. If you think some drug retreat is what you need to visit heaven, you are wrong. If you think pornography releases a certain endorphin or chemical in your mind and it allows you to see heaven, you're wrong. If you think behaving a certain way or doing certain things that you feel won't hurt you and bring you closer to heaven, you're wrong. And I'm referring to the easy drugs like pot, you know what I mean? Something that is legalized nowadays, and mushrooms and whatnot. It won't. It won't. These are temporary. These are accessing heaven through a back door, through a different way. You are a thief and a robber, because I was the thief and a robber in the beginning. And you play all of these parts in the world. All of these parts are played by God, and God is a spirit, and you have the Spirit of God in you, and you and God are one. And all of these parts are played by one and the same. I say be careful. Don't go down that road. Don't go down any road. Let the change happen naturally. If you're working your way in the world through your impulses and urges, know that at some point that will stop. That will end. You have an appointed time. I can't stress this enough. You have an appointed time for your awakening. And in your awakening, you will have visions of the night and instructions that will fill your mind and your ears, and you'll know what to do. If you are truly having a spiritual awakening, God will visit you in a dream and speak to you. That's called union with God. I had it, and so many people have had it. Neville Goddard has had it. So many people have had it. Dreams are very important. At the same time, don't forget, don't turn dreams into an addiction. You will definitely feel, because you will have multiple visions and revelations and dreams after dreams after dreams after, and you will definitely feel the comfort of your immortality in them, and you will see yourself timeless, eternal, and free. And that's where you truly are. You are not here in the world. That's where you truly are. But you will come back to experiencing the world, and you will feel the straitjacket of the body. You will feel the jail cell that it is, that loneliness and that isolation. No matter how many people are around you and how many people you have in your circle of friends and whatnot, when that moment happens and you experience the things that I'm telling you, you will understand that isolation and that loneliness and that wanting to get back to sleep, to get back to that world where you are truly free. And you are truly free. You have been liberated. You always have been in heaven. You still are in heaven. You are only experiencing the world. This is Tea Talk. This is Nick. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you guys next time.